Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real. When you love someone who pulls away, someone who shuts down instead of speaking up, someone who runs when it gets too close, you're not just loving a person, you're loving a battlefield. But here's the truth that most people never talk about. When you love an avoidant, every moment matters, because every moment is a chance to connect through the cracks, not despite them. You can't love someone's walls and then resent them for being there. You have to see them, you have to understand what built them, and you have to decide, am I here to tear them down, or to sit beside them until they feel safe to open the gate? Let's talk about what it really takes. You want to connect with someone who withdraws, who shuts down, distances themselves when things get intense. Then you have to understand this. Love to them doesn't feel safe. It feels risky. Vulnerability isn't their default, it's their danger zone. And if you want to be the one who reaches them, you have to stop pushing for openness and start creating the conditions in which openness can survive. This isn't about manipulation. It's not about walking on eggshells or losing your voice. It's about power, real power, the kind that says, I see you, even when you try to disappear. Because when someone is avoidant, they're not avoiding you. They're avoiding the pain they once felt was unbearable. They're avoiding rejection, disappointment, loss of control, often from experiences that go back years before you even met them. So when you show up with steady energy instead of reactive energy, when you stop matching their distance with anxiety and instead meet it with calm, you do something radical. You show them that connection doesn't have to equal chaos. You show them that love doesn't mean suffocation. You show them that someone can want closeness without needing to consume them. You might want them to open up now, to talk now, to lean in now, but pressure makes an avoidant brain scream danger. What they need isn't a partner who demands intimacy on command. They need a partner who can hold space even in the silence, not passive, not detached, present. That presence is more seductive than anything else. When they realize you won't collapse under their silence or chase them down emotionally or punish them for needing space, they begin to feel safe. And safety, not passion, is the first step toward deep connection for an avoidant person. Safety doesn't mean being a doormat. It means you can hold your center no matter what mood or moment you're facing. That you can hear their "I'm fine" and know there's more beneath it, and not force it, but gently invite it out over time. Because here's what's wild, the less you try to pry them open, the more they'll begin to open on their own. The more consistently you show up as grounded, secure, and emotionally intelligent, the more their nervous system begins to say, hey, maybe it's different this time. And that's when the shift begins. Loving someone with avoidant tendencies means learning to interrupt your own patterns just as much as theirs. The truth is, love isn't always soft. It's not just warm fuzzies and romantic declarations. Sometimes love is strategy, sometimes it's skill. It's being able to recognize a moment where your instincts would push them further away, and choosing instead to do something different, something disruptive, something powerful. Because if you keep reacting the same way, they expect getting anxious when they go quiet, chasing when they withdraw, needing answers when they're overwhelmed. You just feed the very cycle they're trapped in. They've seen that script before, the one where someone pushes too hard, gets too close too fast, then gets angry when they don't get the response they want. That script ends in rejection or abandonment, which only confirms what their nervous system already believes. Closeness equals danger. Dependence equals pain. So if you want to love them effectively, you can't play that role. You have to break the pattern, and breaking that pattern isn't loud. It's quiet. It's in the pause. It's when they retreat, and you don't panic. It's when they don't text back for hours, and you don't spiral into assumptions or ultimatums. It's when they say, I need space, and instead of hearing, I'm done with you, you hear what they can't say out loud. I'm scared, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know how to hold both love and autonomy at the same time. You become the interruption by showing them something new. That closeness doesn't always come with pressure. That love can breathe, that you're not going to punish them for needing time, and you're not going to disappear either. That's how healing begins, not in a grand gesture, but in the little rewrites of every familiar moment. It's hard. It requires self-awareness, emotional control, and the willingness to sit in uncertainty without needing immediate resolution. But the reward, it's enormous. Because every time you interrupt the old pattern with a new response, calm instead of chaos, patience instead of panic, you're not just teaching them how to trust you. You're teaching their nervous system how to trust love again. That is the real work. Not chasing, not fixing, not proving. Just being willing to be the pause that rewires the story they've been telling themselves for years. When you're loving someone who has avoidant tendencies, your presence isn't just nice. It's everything. You don't win their heart through words alone. You win it by becoming an energy they can finally relax into, not because you're perfect, but because you're consistent, because you're stable, because you show up the same even when they don't. This isn't about proving your worth or trying harder to be chosen. It's about mastering the kind of presence that heals, not by fixing them, not by rescuing them, but by being a calm, rooted force in the middle of their inner chaos. When they pull away, when they act cold, when they shut the door emotionally, your greatest power is not to chase or collapse, it's to stay grounded. It's to say, with your energy and your actions, you don't have to perform to earn love. I'm here, and I'm not scared of your silence. Avoidants often grew up learning that emotional independence was the only safe way to exist. Maybe they were shamed for their feelings, ignored when they were vulnerable, or told, explicitly or implicitly, that needing others made them weak. So now, even when they want love, their body reacts like it's a threat. It's not logical, it's biological. Their nervous system flares up when things get close. But your presence, your steady, secure, self-regulated presence, can teach their body something new. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The person who can remain emotionally present in the face of emotional distance holds the power to transform the dynamic, not through control, not through force, but through leadership. Emotional leadership, the ability to stay soft without shrinking, the ability to stay open without chasing, the ability to say, through actions more than words, I'm not here to corner you. I'm here when you decide to turn toward me. That kind of presence isn't passive. It's strong, it's powerful, it's rare, and it's magnetic, because when you become that steady energy, they feel it, not immediately, not dramatically, but viscerally. Their nervous system starts to settle in your presence. Their defenses begin to lower, not because you asked them to, but because you made it safe enough for them to do it on their own. Your presence becomes the medicine they didn't even know they needed. When you love an avoidant, you step into a space where love requires more than just passion. It requires precision. You learn quickly that what worked in your past relationships might not work here. This isn't a story of two people falling head over heels in sync. This is the story of one person daring to hold the line of connection, even when the other disappears into their own silence, and that isn't weakness, that's a different kind of courage. It's the courage to love without controlling, to care without clinging, to stay steady in the presence of uncertainty, because every moment, every micro moment, is either adding to safety or subtracting from it. When you choose to stay present with someone whose reflex is distance, you become more than a partner, you become a mirror, you reflect back to them what healthy love can look like, not loud, not demanding, not overwhelming, but consistent, patient, emotionally intelligent. You show them, moment by moment, that love doesn't have to feel like pressure or danger. You give them the opportunity to experience closeness without fear, and that experience is more powerful than any lecture, any argument, or any emotional plea. You're not just trying to be loved back, you're building the environment where love can breathe. The truth is, you cannot force someone to heal, you cannot drag someone toward intimacy, but what you can do, what you must do is show them that they don't have to walk that road alone. And in doing so, you will grow too, because this journey isn't only about them, it's about who you become in the process. Can you meet someone's fear without making it your own? Can you love without losing yourself? Can you honor your own boundaries while respecting theirs? These are the deeper questions avoidant relationships demand from us. And when you rise to answer them, you don't just create a stronger connection. You become a more grounded, more self-aware version of you. Loving an avoidant will test your patience. It will stretch your emotional capacity, and sometimes, yes, it will hurt. But if there is mutual willingness, even in the smallest way, you have the chance to build something extraordinary. A love that wasn't built on fantasy or fast chemistry, but on earned trust. A connection forged in the fire of fear and held together by the kind of steady, unshakable presence that most people never even experience in their lifetime. That kind of love is rare. That kind of love changes lives. So if you're here loving someone who keeps the door half open, don't chase them, don't force them, but don't give up on them either if they're showing signs of growth. Instead, become the person whose presence is undeniable. Be the space where love feels safe. Because when you love an avoidant, every moment matters, and if you use those moments wisely, with intention, patience, and heart, you may just become the one person who helps them believe in love again. Not because you said the right thing, but because you stayed. Thank you for taking the time to be here, to listen, and to lean into the message with an open heart and mind. These conversations aren't always easy, but they matter. They shape how we show up for the people we love and, more importantly, how we show up for ourselves in the process. Whether you're here to reflect, to grow, or simply to understand a little more about the complex layers of love and connection, your presence means something. Every step toward conscious love is a step toward a better world, and I honor you for walking that path. As we close, remember, your energy, your awareness, and your presence are powerful. Use them wisely. Lead with empathy, and never underestimate the impact of showing up, especially when it's hard. Thank you again, and until next time, stay grounded, stay kind, and keep choosing love over fear. Goodbye for now.